Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining me back again for more coverage of the Apple River tubing tragedy. Today, I've clipped down various testimony from law enforcement, first responders, and also have included their body cam footage. I'll also mark these so that you guys have places if you want to jump to the body cam and only watch that, you can as well. As we know, yesterday he was found guilty. I'm still kind of like shaking my head over how quickly he was found guilty. I agree with the fact that he was in the wrong. I know he did something wrong and he should be he should be held accountable for that. My problem with it is that I think there are a lot of instigators in this whole situation that are walking away from this. And I don't know, maybe their conscience is not clear on it. I don't know any other way to say it. I just felt like they weren't held accountable for their side of it. Okay, let's get to it.
Mr. Anderson.
Can you please state your first and last name and spell your last name?
John Farrell, Farrell.
And how are you employed?
I'm a sergeant with the Somerset Police Department.
Do you also have training in first aid or emergency response?
I do. I'm currently licensed as an emergency medical responder.
On that day were you dispatched to the Apple River stabbing?
I was.
If you recall, what was the initial information from dispatch?
Initial information was people stabbed on the river, possibly one dead. I believe it was 3 victims as we were responding to the scene. I had to grab a set of bolt cutters out of the PD garage, and then I went to the Sunrise Camp entry and had to cut the lock to get in, and then I went directly to the scene.
And was that the best access to get to where the incident was reported to have happened?
Yeah, there's a road that you can get on off Sunrise Drive in Somerset, and then it'll take you back to where the scene was.
Were you one of the first officers to arrive on scene?
I was.
And how many officers, if you recall, arrived there originally?
I don't recall a specific number. I know as I was approaching the scene, I saw a Deputy Durand come down from the highway, and then Officer Stumo was behind me. And there was also another deputy that was behind me that was at the gate when I opened it. Yeah, I was being flagged down initially by people at the river bank. As I approached them, I saw one guy come out that was holding his side. It was later determined that he had a stab wound on his side. I was being directed down into the river where a female was sitting in a tube while bystanders were holding pressure on her left side. When I got down into the river, when I looked at her, I had noticed that I could see what I believed to be her bodily organs outside of her body. Deputy Durand and I worked with bystanders to get her out of the river. During that time, we were trying to determine what was going on. Where's the suspect? There's a lot of information coming in at once, a lot of people in one spot. We were able to get her out. The other person that was there that was stabbed came up as well. I retrieved the medical kit from my squad car, provided some medical equipment to the other officers before I went into the river, and then headed upriver to where the other victims were. There was people everywhere. I didn't know who was who. I mean, it was obvious to me who was injured, but other than that, I didn't know who witnesses were, suspects were, what anyone else's involvement was.
Did you have a body cam on?
I did. Farrell BC video?
BC body cam?
Yes.
I got a cutter!
A19 dispatch Q, call the on-call.
Cut the wrong side of it, of course. There. Slide. Good enough?
When you get an opportunity, if you want to have fire rescue stage, let them know.
Meet you up there.
End up with additional victims on the river, whatever they can do to get access to that. It is looking good. 8100 will be working on getting the investigators out. 10 Was he gonna hand those ready too? I wasn't aware of that when I talked to him. That's where I'll go. He gave for dispatch Sunrise access is open. Sunrise access? Correct. Open down to the river. That's where 50.
4502 dispatch should be on scene just underneath, getting flagged down by people. 1554 45, which was 3:54 p.m.
The time of law enforcement's first arrival on scene?
Yeah. Yes.
And 1554 would be 3:54 p.m.
Yes.
Is that right, what I wrote up there?
Yes.
We're gonna keep playing until about the 5-minute mark.
They're all down where?
Alive. I don't know if they're alive or not. Yeah, it's all good down there. There's two down there.
We have to take the river down.
We got someone who can't move.
Yep, come on up.
We got
Come on,
someone who
you
can't
come up
move.
here.
Go help him. Please.
Yeah, we got one.
Where'd the suspect go?
I don't know. No, but we got. She got stabbed. Her right there. She got stabbed.
Okay.
And there's two down there yet too.
It's shallow water, so you
Yep,
can
yep,
step in
we're
there.
going,
It's shallow.
we're going.
It's shallow. Y'all can step in there.
Just, we got one stabbing already up here.
The one kid that walked by you is too.
Yep, we saw that. Chase, you got a knife on you?
I can't breathe. I can't breathe.
Gotta go one more cut here.
Keep holding pressure.
I know you do. I know you don't.
Doing good. Keep holding pressure. Okay.
Helicopter was overhead in Fulton.
I think we can just pick her up using the tool. She's got a dissertation here. Chase, this is
the bridge. If you could start a helicopter,
Just get this underneath the tube and lift up.
going.
Under the boat.
Yeah. She got guts.
Did you end up assisting to carry Riley out of the river?
Yes.
Where'd you bring her?
Just up to the paved road there by the squad cars.
What'd you do after that?
I retrieved the medical equipment from my squad car and provided it to the officers who were tending to her, the other subject that was stabbed that was sitting next to my squad car, and then I headed into the river.
We have to get your butt up a little bit here.
EMS coming here.
Yep, yep. Way up. Yep, we're going. Okay. Ready, Chase?
And the guy is still walking up the river.
The suspect?
Yes, he still had a knife out. He was still stabbing people.
4502 dispatch. We just received information. Suspect still has the knife and heading upriver on foot. 4502 dispatch, I'm just getting up to 06. It does appear that EMS is clear to get up here. Just make sure they know the suspect's still at large. We got officers up there at our entry point. If we can get a boat, that'd be great. Yep. Okay, all right. Seals. If you need a seal.
Yeah, I need. He's got the. It's everywhere.
Okay. Yep.
On the bank to the right, that kind of obstructed by other people, but
The person that's being tended to medically and CPR is in progress. I don't remember his exact name, but I believe his first name was Isaac.
okay.
I went up to the group that was doing CPR on him, and then assisted with that.
Do you eventually assist getting people off the river?
Yeah, when the paramedics arrived, they came up the river, then I assisted in getting him out of there.
How did you get Isaac off the river when you had to wade up like that?
Yeah, a backboard was placed on inner tubes and then floated down the river.
I don't have anything else.
At some point, your report indicates that you make it to the village park, is that right?
Yes.
Okay, so from what we saw there in the times, how much later or how much time passes until you make it up to Village Park?
Oh, I don't know the exact time. It's not immediate, it's a significant time, but I don't know the exact time.
Okay. You make contact at Village Park with a gentleman by the name of Eric Williams, is that right?
That's right.
Okay, and
I had directed him out of the crowd to come talk to me. There was a group gathered together.
okay, so did you have some information that he might have information?
I had information that the people in the group may have information, but as to who knew what and who was where, no, I didn't have that until I started talking to him.
Okay, and he had provided you at least some brief information about kind of what was going on, right?
Yes.
Okay, and he had provided you information that he was with Mr. Miu, right?
Yeah, in the same group, yes.
And he had provided you information as to kind of what Mr. Miu was doing
Yes.
previously, right?
Yes,
Okay, that he was looking for a phone, right?
that's correct.
Okay. At that point, do not take this as critical. At that point, you don't have any other information as to what had actually happened. Is that fair? Oh, what I mean by that is, I know you saw people that had been injured, but how they were injured, the circumstances surrounding that, you didn't have that information, right?
Some of the witnesses on the scene had mentioned stabbing, that's what had happened.
Sure.
But other than that, no.
Okay. And you locate tell me if this is fair, you locate various pieces of what may be physical evidence.
Yeah.
In your mind.
Yes.
Okay. And that was a shirt and a pair of swim goggles.
Yes.
Okay. Are the goggles like you would see, are they snorkel goggles or are they goggles like a swimmer who's competing?
I don't remember exactly what they were.
Okay. After your interview with Mr. Williams, and you're walking kind of the river, is that your involvement in the case?
Yeah, that's the involvement, yeah. I was, well, I had been given a ride back, and that's when you said, when I assisted with finding the evidence in the river, the T-shirt, the goggles. So there's that space between Village Park and where the incident actually had occurred, where I initially responded to. So I had gone from there back to that spot, and that's when I assisted in that searching where I found the T-shirt and the swim goggles.
I just want to make sure I'm not missing anything. So after that's done, your involvement in kind of what happened here has concluded, is that fair?
Yes.
Chase Durand,
How do you spell your last name?
D-U-R-A-N-D,
What do you do for a living?
Patrol Sergeant with Sheriff's Office, St. Croix County.
Do you have any EMT training?
Yes.
Were you working back on July 30th of 2022?
Yes, I was.
Did you get dispatched to the incident on the Apple River?
I did.
What information were you given in the initial call?
I was aired to us from dispatch that there have been several people stabbed on the Apple River, and dispatch said it was near the 64 bridge in Somerset Township. Yes, I responded emergent, and the area I'm familiar with, there's a private road underneath the bridge with no off-ramp on the highway there on 64. I parked up on top of the overpass and then went down the embankment to the river. I first saw Officer Farrell, or Sergeant Farrell from Somerset PD. Once I got upriver, when we waded to the river, and then came across Officer Stumo at that location where the 2 victims were in the water still.
All right, so before you get into the river, did you get involved in some of the activities that were going on shore?
Yes. When I first arrived and made my way down the embankment, I came across, it was hectic and there was a lot of people near the bridge. There was one male subject who was able to walk, who had observed what looked like a stab wound. And then I was directed with Sergeant Farrell to to another female laying in an inner tube that had a wound to her left side. We used my soft stretcher with help of bystanders, to evacuate her out of the water up to the road, where I passed her off to another deputy arriving. Once I entered the water, people were yelling that it was a guy wearing scuba gear, and he went back upriver.
You didn't have a physical description?
At that time, no.
Were you wearing a body camera at the time that you responded to the river?
I was. On my first arrival with the first 2 victims I came across, it wasn't recording, and then when I checked it going upriver, I had to open up, it was our old body cam system, I had to open up the phone app and activate it. It wasn't turning on with the button.
All right.
The initial response with the first 2 victims you located, and then once I entered the water to go upriver, that's when my body cam turned on.
Your Honor, again, I'm going to just give a warning that some of the images on this body cam are graphic, so anybody who may be concerned may want to leave.
So, members of the jury, what you're about to see is difficult. It is evidence. You may consider it. Watch as much as you can. If you need to avert your eyes for a moment, you may. But I ask that you pay as close attention as you can, because this is evidence in the trial. Mr. Smithson.
Hello? Okay. What does you see who the suspect was?
Okay, open it. Do you have gauze in there? Do you have gauze at all?
Yeah.
Okay. Have him hold it. He'll hold it. AJ, you hold my hand. Squeeze my hand, man. Squeeze my hand. You're doing so good, AJ. You're doing so good. So good. Okay, this is good. This is good. Squeeze my hand right now. Squeeze it. Squeeze it. Right now. Right now. So good. So good, AJ. So good. So good. Okay, we're right here. You're right here. We're right here with you, AJ. We're right here with you. You hear me?
29 to 19.
I know, AJ. I know, AJ. We're right here. All right.
Go right for 19.
We're here for you. We're here for you.
Do you want me to go upriver and start coming down, or I'm at the bridge right now?
You want to start looking for the suspect. I'll work on a description. I heard one person say scuba gear.
You're doing so good, AJ. AJ Martin, huh? What a good name, right?
4502 dispatch. We're doing CPR.
Hold on to me.
4502 CPR progress.
Did you guys see what happened? Who did it?
4502 dispatch. I know you're busy with.
Do you know who it is?
No, it's just some rando on the river. He's 5'9", 5'10", Russian-looking guy.
He went somewhere
Short,
over there.
dark
What was he wearing?
Hey, you see him?
Hey!
I think they just went after him. I think he's up there. You get out of there.
Get out! Get out!
Hey, where you guys going? What? We need to know what it looks like. We got a lot of cops in the area. What does he look like? Hey, we got K9 coming. We can't track him if you guys tear up the whole scent trail. 36.
What's our furthest downriver casualty point?
64 bridge.
10-4 believed to be going downriver. I can head straight down there.
Negative. Suspect went into the woods at the initial location, a quarter mile upriver from the 64 bridge.
10-4. Did he go off on the north or south bank?
South bank. The cider cars are on.
Chase, do you want me to continue up to you, or do you want me to take my squad up the road further into the woods?
Yep. Up the river. Or correction. Eric, just go to the woods. We need this EMS here. Get these people out of here.
10-4. I just talked to rescue. They're working on getting the boat into the water and up to you guys.
Okay. Great. Can one of you hold his hand?
21 to 29.
Hold it.
Careful, please be careful.
The road is the first up along the riverbank. If you can get guys,
Wash it out, buddy.
head that way up there. The road isn't that far from the river.
Just hold that there, okay? Just leave that there.
AJ, you hold on, okay?
10-4. You'll have to squeeze past their spots and stuff. Copy. I'll point that way.
What the suspect wearing? Swim shorts, clothes?
Swim shirts and a t-shirt.
Okay.
A white t-shirt. I know, he had a t-shirt on for a pot belly.
Older man, he's in his 50s, 60s. He just has a knife.
46 to 29. Good.
AJ.
I'm just coming through the ridge.
Right, hold pressure on his stomach.
Perimeter.
Hold what? Pressure.
Yep, I'll go to the end of the Sunrise Trail and we'll link up there.
8819 dispatch. Suspect information.
8819, go to the suspect.
Being told a white male, swim shorts, shirtless, armed with a knife, possibly 50 years old. This person described him as Russian looking.
Do we have a color on those swim shorts?
Negative. Can't get that yet. Also, two of the friends of the person ran off into the woods are looking for the suspects. We have some other people contaminating the area.
Then for adult male, approximately 50 years of age, shirtless, wearing unknown color swim shorts with a knife, and two friends of victims are out looking for the suspect as well. 1608.
8019 dispatch.
8819.
Disregard. Where did the suspect go into the woods at?
I didn't see that. I had
This way. We have a canine coming.
get stabbed.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I know.
I saw him before the fight started.
I have a rag. I don't know how much it's going to help.
And then he
but if
punched
it's going to
one of the
help
girls in the
anybody,
face.
Okay.
if you want to apply with another rag.
One here, one there.
8844 to 8829.
They don't know. No one knows. They said this region. They don't know exactly where.
I have these two trauma bandages. I got a tourniquet and some quick clot Z-fold.
His guts are hanging out. The other one, I haven't been over to that one yet.
Let's throw that on his
Here.
head.
8844 to 8829. I don't know if those broad. We're just getting out of the 6. Where do you need us?
I think 29 up the road here farther. Try to set up perimeter.
At the end of Sunrise Trail here, it's pretty thick. I'm not going to be able to see much down here. I would say go to the highway and start working on that way.
Hold on, we're up there somewhere.
10-4, we'll be up the highway.
Yeah, I think so.
26 dispatch, 10-3, know if you cover stuff.
Here we go. You're
26 routes.
Hold on to me, okay?
8819 to the dispatch.
You too?
8819.
Our two most critical patients are up here, upriver. Is this?
No. You guys see him?
Copy. 8819 has two critical patients upriver. Do you have a team to go to extract them?
I didn't catch that. We're a quarter mile upriver from the bridge. We can see the squads. One, no vitals. CPR in progress.
104019. I believe I have EMS in the area.
Do we have any helicopters en route for Lakeview or Lifelink?
Affirmative. 2 helicopters at this time. 8821 dispatch. About a tenth of a mile upriver from the bridge. We have a male suspect with a abdominal stab wound and a laceration to the leg. We have another male subject with a lateral slash across his abdomen. And we have one subject with a stab wound to the chest. CPR in progress. 10-3 victims, 1/10 of a mile upriver, leg stab, open abdomen, and a chest stab. CPR in progress.
Tell me I'm annoying. I know I'm annoying. I know.
168019.
Go ahead.
Do we need additional agencies to assist with perimeter?
Yes. And I don't know, State Patrol's helicopter was in the area from Minnesota. I don't know if that's something we can utilize.
There we go. Don't you let go of my hand. Yes, that is it. Hey, you keep talking. You keep talking.
8816 dispatch. If nurseman's available and see if Polk County can send some deputies down.
Keep talking. Keep talking. You're doing so fun.
10 for nurseman cars, copy.
Keep going. All right. You got this, baby.
At some point in your body cam, did you run up into the woods?
Yes.
What was that all about?
There was movement up in the woods, people yelling at somebody. I ran up there, determined those two people that were going to go try to find the suspect. I told them to come back due to us having canine coming, not to mess up the scent for the dog and then confuse the perimeter or any type of aerial drone or helicopter assets coming to assist searching.
Did you know who those folks were up in the woods that were looking for the suspect?
No.
Did you see yourself on your body cam saying that they were friends of the victims?
Yes, through the yelling in the crowd, I determined there was some type of relationship with the people.
But as of today, you don't know if they had any connection to these victims?
I don't know their exact connection. Yes, there was a lot of information being thrown at me or people yelling, but the one person I had talked to in the yellow shirt had the most amount of information about the suspect. Yes, when I was in Holton, I saw that Minnesota's State Patrol helicopter was over Stillwater prior to coming to the call.
And what was the purpose of calling the Minnesota State Patrol helicopter?
Their air assets have thermal cameras. Wisconsin's airplanes do not.
Did the Minnesota State Patrol helicopter respond to the area?
I do not know.
Nothing further.
You had indicated that on direct examination that you saw those, as you said, people that were friends with, you said friends with the victims who were up in the woods, right?
Yes.
You asked them, now, they tell you what they're doing, right?
Yes.
They say to go find the motherfucker, right?
Yes.
Okay. You took that to, tell me if this is fair, you took that as they wanted to go see if they could locate where this person was, right?
I interpret it as they're going to look for the suspect.
You say one of your, tell me if this is fair, one of your concerns about them running up into the woods was that you were sending a canine, right?
Yes.
Was another one of your concerns what might happen if they run into him?
Yes.
Do you tell them to stop?
I asked them to come back, yes. I don't remember my exact words then, but I asked them to not go into the woods.
Okay. And they tell you they're going to look for them, and then you come back down into the river, right?
Yes.
Okay. Did you see any of the people that were up in the woods? Did you see any of them with a weapon, a baseball bat?
No.
And you were initially told that this suspect was wearing, and I think you said scuba gear?
Yes.
Okay. What did you take that to mean?
I interpret it as some type of swim mask and unknown what past that, ranging from a snorkel and a mask to scuba tanks and that type of gear.
Okay.
I'm taking all information in that is being yelled by people in the water, bystanders, and disseminating out to the rest of the officers on scene and dispatch what seemed to be the most accurate information I was getting.
Okay, and in terms of making that determination as to what's the most accurate, what are you basing that information on in terms of what's true and what's not true?
People that said that they saw the actual event happen versus ones that saw the aftermath of what happened.
Okay, and so the people that are telling you what happened were, in your mind, the people that were near the people that were being tended to? Is that fair?
Some people
In your honor, I'm not sure how you know.
Overruled, you can answer.
some people that I had asked in passing by, they said they didn't see it actually happen. And then the people that were attending to and in the area, the man in the yellow shirt was giving me the most information that had detail.
Okay, and so those people that were giving you that information, that was the information that you were trying to relay out. Is that fair?
Yes.
Okay. So then did you relay out that the suspect had run into the woods?
Yes.
Okay. Do you know now whether or not that's true?
I do not.
Sergeant, I don't have any other questions for you. Thank you for your time today.
Mr. Smestad? All right, thank you, Sergeant. You may step down.
Can you please state your name and spell your last name?
Levi Stumo, S-T-U-M-O.
And did you previously work for the Somerset Police Department?
Yes.
You employed by a different law enforcement agency currently?
Yes.
So back in July, on the 30th of 22, were you dispatched to the stabbing on the Apple River?
Yes. Sergeant Farrell and another deputy.
And of the three of you, do you know who the first one to head upstream was, upriver?
Are you referring to after getting onto the river itself?
Yes.
I believe that was me.
And did you have body camera on at the time?
I did.
While I'm doing this, did you, after you were at the scene of the stabbings, did you go out to another location also?
Correct.
What was the second location?
The Village Park.
What'd you end up going there for?
To assist with apprehending the suspect if he was located at that location.
And Village Park, is that the exit for the tubers?
Correct.
I'm on 1:54 seconds. If we would have watched earlier, it'd just be you driving to the scene?
That is correct.
KD-100 will be working on getting the investigators out. 10 for Sealy handles ready to. I wasn't aware of that when I talked to him. 10 Rogan. Idiot 30 trip. Dispatch Sunrise access is open. The Sunrise access?
While this is playing, is this that private
Correct.
road for an old campground?
Open down to the river.
Yes, it is.
10 for 50-54. 503 dispatch should be on scene just underneath, getting flagged down by people.
We have to take the river down.
He punched me in the face. I don't know what the fuck.
I got someone who can't move. Go help him. Please.
We're going to help.
We got a gentleman down there.
His guts are out in the fucking open.
Okay.
All right, I'm stopping at 3 minutes 30 seconds. I'm going to jump ahead. I'm going to mute the screen, please. I'm going to play from 4 minutes 29 seconds.
He might be dead by now.
How far at?
Right there by the yellow shirt.
One individual slit from here to his chest. His guts are exposed. The other one is slit, stabbed in the chest. He got one stab in the kidney area.
3 down there?
Yes, sir.
We got 3 individuals down the river. Significant stabbing.
The other person, their lung is popped.
Okay, how deep? Not deep? All right.
It's bleeding bad. The person's balls are out. He's about to lose consciousness.
All right.
They're doing CPR on the one whose lung is popped. Right here. The one.
Is he on the other side of the river?
No, on this side. Right down there. Right there. Two of them right next to each other.
All right, you want to help me out here?
Yes, sir.
I'm going to pause at 5:36. That gentleman you just made contact with, did you have any idea who that was at the time?
I did not. Where's the guy? Okay, where's the stabber?
I don't know. I've been asking questions. Nobody knows. They all got into it.
What's your dispatch? That higher death is going to be off Sunrise.
Yeah. Can't go fast.
You're familiar with the Apple River?
I am.
I think we've seen some maps and talked about Village Park. You familiar with Village Park?
Yes.
That is essentially the designated exit spot for tubers, correct?
That is correct.
Mr. Miu left the river at the designated exit spot for tubers, correct?
I would believe so, yes, from where he was standing.
You didn't personally observe it, but you saw him there at Village Park, correct?
Correct.
You didn't see him get out of the tube and walk up, but that's where you first saw him, correct?
That's where I first made contact, yes.
And obviously, you're not aware of any other evidence that he exited somewhere before that, correct?
No, I'm not.
All right. In this case, you were, again, I don't want to get into the details of what somebody told you, just your general awareness about a particular part of the investigation, okay? You were aware that there was going to be a factual issue in this trial about whether Madison Cohen was or wasn't punched. What happened to Madison Cohen, correct?
If that's the lady that was punched.
Well, that's a factual issue that the jury's going to decide, but you understood that there...
I don't know the name.
That's all you meant?
That's what I meant.
But that there was a witness, let's put her name aside. There is a witness that was there, and you're aware that there is a factual issue about whether that witness did or did not get punched or slapped or pushed, or how there was some contact with her. Agreed?
Yes.
And you're aware that as part of that investigation, there was your department was trying to see if there was or there wasn't a photo of her face that might document an injury, correct?
That sounds familiar, yes.
There's been testimony that I want to give you a chance to see if you have a rebut to that, right? There's been testimony that perhaps a phone was offered up to the sheriff's department with a piece of evidence, and the sheriff
Overruled.
and the sheriff's department said, no, we don't want that phone. We don't care about that picture.
Yes.
Let me start over. There was a witness whose name is Quentin Carlson, and he testified that it was his understanding that there was a photo taken of this witness, Madison Cohen, and that the phone that took that photo was offered up to your sheriff's department, and your department said, nah, we don't want the phone. We don't need the photo. We don't want anything to do with that. Are you aware that any such phone was offered to the sheriff's department?
I'm not aware of that, no.
I would imagine had a phone been offered up to the sheriff's department, the best practice, the policy would have been for them to collect the phone, correct?
Best practice would be, if applicable, yes.
Certainly if somebody in a homicide case said, I've got a photo of the injury to one of the victims, that would be applicable, right?
Yes.
And so in that scenario, the best practice, the policies that you've helped write and establish within the county would be for your sheriff's investigators, members to collect that phone, correct?
Yes.
And as far as you know, they did collect a phone, right? Or you may not know.
I don't know.
Okay. You would, if they did not, that would surprise you, right?
May or may not, depending upon everything surrounding it. There was a lot of evidence that was collected. I don't know where this one you're referencing fell in.
Okay.
Or at what time.
Maybe I should just ask you this. Based upon your position as the sheriff, do you have any reason to believe that it's true that a piece of evidence in a homicide case was offered up to the sheriff's department regarding alleged victim Madison Cohen, and that your department just dismissed it and said, we don't want it? Do you have any reason to believe that that's true?
I have no reason to believe or not believe it. That's all news to me. I don't know.
Okay, all right. I'm going to move on to a different topic now, okay? I would imagine in your 29 years, you've had lots of different roles within the sheriff's department or as a law enforcement officer, right?
Yes.
Probably like lots of people, in the sheriff's department, you started out on the road, you've eventually moved up in ranks, and now you're the sheriff, correct?
Correct.
As part of that training, you have training and experience to detect alcohol, right?
Correct.
The use of alcohol by people, correct?
Yes.
And you certainly know that sometimes whether somebody has or has not consumed alcohol, that's going to be important and relevant to an investigation of a crime, correct?
It very well could, yes.
And so when you're in those situations, even if you're not looking for it, if you happen upon evidence of alcohol consumption, you would note that, correct?
Yes.
If you were arresting a suspect and you were in their personal space close enough to them to smell alcohol, you'd have made a note of that, correct?
Correct.
Or if you heard slurred speech or something along those lines, you'd have made a note of it, correct?
Yes.
Any sign of intoxication, you'd make a note of it and you could figure out the relevance of it later, correct?
Yes.
Sometimes, if you made observation of it, you might decide to do further investigation, give a test of some sort, whether it be a chemical test or a field test, correct?
Just objective, these are cumulative.
It's not cumulative with this witness.
What's that?
It's not cumulative with this witness.
It's not, but we've heard this before. Let's just cut to the chase.
You agree?
Can you read your question again?
And there's some times where if you did note something that you smelled or you heard or some other observation, you might continue and do further tests, either a field test or a chemical test, right?
Based on the crime, yes.
In this case, you had contact with Nicolae Miu, correct?
Yes.
We saw the video where he was sitting in a closed, in a back of a squad car, correct?
Yes.
Closed space, right?
Yes.
Hot day, right?
Yes.
And you were there to check on the temperature for him, right?
Correct.
And when you opened the door, you had a brief conversation with him, correct?
Yes.
And then later at a parking lot, sometime later, you also were there when he got out of one car and got into another car, correct?
Yes.
And you had contact with him there, correct?
Yes.
Throughout all of those contacts, is it fair to say that you didn't see any signs of intoxication?
I did not detect any, no.
That's all.
Mr. Anderson.
Can you please state your first and last name and spell your last name?
Mitchell Sheppy, Scheappi.
And how are you employed?
As an investigator at the St. Croix County Sheriff's Office
How long have you worked in law enforcement?
since 2016.
And were you one of the investigators assigned to this case?
Yes,
Did you also respond to the scene on the day of the incident?
yes,
And at some point, were you alerted by other officers that a knife was located?
yes. Yep. So when I was notified of where the knife was located, me and my partner walked through the river back to the scene. When we got there, we noticed officers from the Richmond Police Department up on a ledge and pointed down to where a knife was in a muddy section of the shoreline. Just above that shoreline, there was sort of a wall that had dried dirt on it and some green moss. The knife was located laying there closed on top of the muddy portion of the shoreline.
And were the officers who alerted you to it, were they still standing there at the scene where it was?
Yes,
And did it appear the knife was undisturbed, meaning no footprints leading up to it or anything like that?
correct. These are photographs of the knife and the area around the knife as I walked up to it.
Should I move to admit and publish? And just before we go into these, did you take pictures from different distances and also of around the area where the knife was?
Yes.
So what are we looking at in this photo?
That's a picture from me out in the water. As you can see, the officers from the Richmond Police Department are up there, and that's the overall area of where the knife was located.
I'm gonna zoom in and see if you can see the knife in this photo, just for context on the location. Is that it right there?
Yes,
The branch on the zoomed out picture is almost pointing to it.
correct. Just a different angle of the knife itself and the area around it.
This photo?
This photo is to show the undisturbed nature of the sand.
Same thing, other direction?
Correct.
What's this photo?
Photo of the knife.
What are you trying to document here?
In that photo, I'm trying to show the vertical facing wall and how the dirt on there is not dry and the green moss that was on the knife as it was laying there.
Can you elaborate on that while looking at this photo?
Yes. So as you see, the knife here is what I observed is the dirt on top, what I believe to be dry dirt, different than what's wet on the bottom below it. When that, I concluded to believe that the knife was tossed or placed up against the back wall before it fell there.
The dirt the knife is sitting on, was that, and that's a hypothesis, you don't actually know that, fair?
Correct.
But the dirt it's on is wet, is that fair?
Yes.
The bank behind it was dry?
Yes.
I just want to make sure I'm understanding. Close up of the knife,
Correct.
then is that you holding it?
I don't know if that's me or Deputy Kelly at the time.
That's actually probably not you, huh? Given where it's coming from.
Correct.
All right. And was the knife, you can mute it. Was the knife secured as evidence?
Yes.
Current witness says that the male appears to be wearing a camel-colored shirt.
Okay.
Yes.
Just talking, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, yeah. No,
You're just being detained at this point, okay?
Yes.
What do we check? What do you check?
D6 dispatch, believe we have the suspect detained. I believe we have him detained at the same.
No weapons or anything like that?
Number 336 has the possible suspect detained at 1649. Everybody hold where they're at. We need a photo so we can determine this.
I got it.
I'm coming up one across the bridge right now.
Like I said, you're just being detained at this point, okay, boss?
Okay.
I got a photo on my phone. I'll be there in a second.
Yeah. Chain matches.
Yep,
Shorts.
What's your name?
Nick.
Nick what?
Nick Miu.
Okay.
Take him in the bus.
Why?
Can bring over my...
What did they do?
This way.
Bring over my squad. He's not double locked at this point.
All right, we'll worry about it over here.
Yep. He's got a silver chain.
It matches.
Silver block chain.
Same shorts.
Yes. So, let me double lock this quick.
Number.
Like I said, sir, you're just detained at this point, okay? We'll explain anything in a second here.
The same as well.
You got some pretty good markings on his hand, too.
Alright.
Someone wants to take a picture of that? Yeah, we're on his thumb.
Want to advise him he's under arrest? Have we done that yet? Last I heard was
Nothing that's going to poke me, prick me, stick me, hurt me in any way?
Absolutely.
So right now you're being placed under arrest, okay? You're being placed under arrest for a homicide and attempted homicide.
Camera recording started.
Still doing all right?
Yeah.
Okay.
What's going
Temperature?
on?
Temperature's okay in here?
Yeah.
Okay.
I hear somebody got stabbed.
Um,
And I fit the description.
yes, you do.
All right.
Yep. So we're working through that now.
I'd like to everyone know before I ask them questions. I wasn't there, right? So I don't know. Frequently when I talk to people, they say he, she, things like that. If you know their names, please use your name. If it's the person that stabbed you, I'm fine with you using whatever term you want. A lot of people have been saying
the older guy in the cardinal shorts. I don't know how this is.
that's perfect. And then if you can add as much detail as you can, even if you think it's something that I don't care about, I might.
I can tell you I don't remember much, but I'll tell you everything I do.
Okay. And then also, if I say something that's incorrect, feel free to stop me. Say, nope, that's not correct, and correct me, okay? And then if I ask you a question that you don't know the answer to, perfectly acceptable to say, I don't know. I don't want you just giving me an answer because you think I want to hear it, okay? Now, it sounds like I just learned that we do have video of the incident, which is good. But I still want to talk to people and ask them their series of events as they portray them, okay? So we can just kind of start from the beginning, go through the middle, all the way to the end with as much detail as you can.
Well, like I said, I don't remember a lot, but what I remember from the start, we were just floating down the river, and we were all in our tube at that time. Well, not all of us. Some were just standing up in their tube because it was shallow water, and we just heard someone scream help, and Dad taught us, someone screams help, go help, and so my little brother ran over, and
And your little brother is Dante.
Sorry, I apologize. Dante Carlson, he ran over, and as soon as I saw him run over, I got up and started to run over because this is my little brother. And when I got up out of my tube, my friend AJ Martin, the one that had his stomach sliced open, he ran with me, and he got there before me, and he tried to grab the guy, and the guy, I thought he just punched him, but he swung and sliced his stomach, and then I went to go and grab his arm because I didn't want to like have him punch me, and like I didn't even know there was a knife in his hand, and I like went to like grab his hand. His hand stopped, like I stopped his hand here, and I felt something hold me, but I had adrenaline rushing through me, so I didn't really think twice of it, and I punched the guy and like ran away from him, and I turned around and I see my friend like literally with his stomach like, in his hands, and I ran over to help him.
And that was AJ?
Yep, AJ, sorry. And I went and grabbed AJ, like there was, I don't remember who was with me, there was some girl, just a random girl that came with, and she came over and helped carry him to the shore practically, and like lay him down, and just I sat with him and kept his head held up, and then that was pretty much it until the paramedics came by and they took him, and then they took me, and that's all I remember. But I know it's not a lot, or I wish I could help more. But.
Why, and I don't mean this in a demeaning way or whatever, but why do you think that you can't remember a lot? Just the stress, the trauma? Did you get some medication or something?
Yeah, I took Keppra, and I have seizures. Okay. And so like the entire time that it was happening, I was like on the verge of having a seizure. I know. Every time I have one, I just don't remember anything. I was blanking out a lot.
How do you feel right now? Do you feel okay now?
I mean, I'm fine. I took my Keppra and everything, and I just, I'm just shaking. But I'm fine now.
And where were you? Let me get to my right page. I assume your injuries are all bandaged up now, right?
Yeah, he just got me right here with it, and then I think that's like what happened when I like went to block it, and then when he like tried to actually grab it, and that's when I pushed his hand down. That's when it hit me right here, and I can't tell what's up with him.
It might be a little bit.
But yeah, and then they couldn't stitch it completely closed because otherwise it could cause infection and such. So they just put 2 stitches in it, called it good. But yeah, no, they said that my ribs stopped the knife, I guess, from entering anymore.
Do you mind if I take a quick photo of that?
No, that's fine. Do you want me?
Thanks for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this video, please do not forget to like and subscribe on your way out, and feel free to leave a comment. Have a blessed day.